G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Uboat on board U606, just as we leave the port of La Rochelle in France. Hope you all enjoyed the last episode where we absolutely smashed Aruba and we caused heaps of damage to the Allied forces' supply of oil. As you join us today, our orders are to patrol sector BB6 through BC7, travel 2,500 kilometers within the zone and sink 10,000 tons worth of enemy shipping. So as it is, we are heading off towards the east coast of America. As you can see from the map here, we're just leaving the port of France and there's still plenty to do out here in the Atlantic, but here's our patrol zone. And plenty of ports on this side of America and Canada. So I am fully expecting we will encounter quite a lot of convoys in the area. There's a good 4 or 5 ports here and an airfield. You might even come across some aircraft. Not too fussed about whatever that is. It's just a little side mission, I suppose, but there's going to be heaps of enemy shipping coming through this direction, so I think we should be in for a good time here. Oh well, not too long at sea here and we've already encountered a convoy. There's 8 to 18 ships, so I think we're just going to plot an interception course here and see what we're dealing with. So we've got our first contact here of the convoy, so we'll just take a quick look at that. That looks like to me like it might be an Empire something or other. So I think we're just going to close the distance here and we'll try and see what else is in this convoy. Let's see if we can cause a bit of damage here. Okay, it looks like we've got ourselves an enemy destroyer here leading the way. It's definitely something that we're going to want to attack if we have to try and get in here and cause any damage to the convoy. Doesn't look like there's much else at the moment in the way, but I was going to say this is going to be number 1 target. Okay, so we've got the periscope up and we've got eyes on target number 1, which is definitely a priority here. It's this this enemy warship. So we have to recognize this, which I'm always absolutely shocking at, especially in the dark like this. Can't really see shit, but what we're looking for is definitely a mast towards the front. Got a funnel there behind, and the bridge of the boat is at the front as well. So I do apologize if this takes me a couple of minutes or so. It could be something like that. It's definitely not one of those. Possibly one of those. It's quite hard to line it up, but I'm gonna guess with that one. Could be right, could be wrong, not too sure. Now it's time to figure out the course of the convoy. So we'll grab our ruler. Yeah, and we'll pull a line through to the nearest north-south line, just like so. And we'll pull a line north to south. Grab our protractor. I always do that, always grab the marker. Grab our protractor. Draw that up north to south and then eastish to westish, and we've got a coordinate of 70 degrees, which is chuck that into the old computer here. So we're 70 degrees. Now really we want to get the speed of the convoy. Better up our periscope here. A bit choppy. See if we can find something better than what we're dealing with to take the speed of the convoy. Doesn't really look like there's much options around, so I think we might just have to use this warship here to see what's behind it. I can't really see this. Don't have eyes on anything else really. I think we'll just have to go back to using the target as itself. And we'll just make sure that we get our periscope out in front of it. It's a little bit tricky to see what we're dealing with here, but we'll make sure the front of the boat goes through the periscope and we'll start the clock. And the back of the boat, let's It's a little bit of a guess, but stop the clock to what we think it was. Better slow our boat down so that we're not encroaching too far on this enemy convoy. Now all we need to do is get our distance. So we just line that flag up with the water line, or just above the flag, and then we can select a couple of torpedoes. It's definitely a 2 torpedo job for this kind of boat. We don't want to have to deal with her again, that's for sure. So tube 1 flooded, tube 2, tubes 1 and 2 fire. Wash, that'll teach them. 2 good shots, 2 good hits with our torpedoes there. Looks like they've done pretty good amount of damage. Got a fire. Cargo's already in the water, while the decks are already under. Yeah, made quick work of that. She's going down. Now we just got to wait for the convoy to settle down, catch back up with them, and see what else we can pick off. Seems like the convoy are back down to a normal state, not under alarm anymore. As you can see, we've been tracking them for a little while now, checking their course. But we've got ourselves an empire of some sort in our scope, so I think we're going to try and line up a torpedo attack on this one for sure. There's not really much else. I don't want to go overboard and take up too much. We'll go tube 2 for this one. Just up periscope for a second. We've already done most of the working outs. And tube 2 is ready to go, so let's launch that. Bang! Another good hit with a torpedo there. Started a fire straight away on deck. Let's just hope that that's going to be enough. Sometimes it only takes 1 torpedo to sink a boat like this. Sometimes it could take multiple. Hopefully the fire is going to spread and cause a bit more damage. Get her under the water, but at this stage doesn't... Yeah, nah. Nowhere near enough damage to sink that at this stage. So round 3 with the convoy. We've found ourselves a Liberty cargo. We've done a little bit of the working out already. We still know that they're roughly heading in the same direction as they were. And we've already got the speed, but I will double check that because they were under an alarm state before. And the back of the boat comes through the cross and stop that, set here now, so they've calmed down again, which is good. We just need to get her distance from us right now, roughly to the waterline there. There you go, she's within range. 2 torpedoes ready to go. Flood those up and we'll get those heading on towards her. It's good to take her out because she's actually armed, and then we can see what else we can pick off from the convoy. Another 2 good torpedoes there. We haven't missed with a single shot yet. Probably should not speak too soon about that because inevitably we will. Just didn't cause enough damage on that one Empire, but this boat looks pretty screwed, I'd say. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before she goes down. Good to take out something as big as this. But we've barely left the ocean of well, what are we, just north of Portugal here, and we've probably already reached our maximum tonnage for what we wanted to achieve for this mission. But let's say this Liberty cargo's definitely well on her way down. Not too sure how much more damage we want to cause to this convoy. We're going to use up all of our torpedoes before we even get close to our patrol zone at this stage. So I've decided to just let the rest of this convoy be on its way. I don't want to go through all of my torpedoes before I even get to the patrol zone. I think there's still plenty of chance to come across other convoys while we get there, or on the way, or after, so let's carry on with that. Well, We're pretty close to our patrol zone here, but we have picked up the propeller noises of a single ship here. So I think this could be a good opportunity to close in and get up that tally towards the 10,000 ton mark. So here she is. Got ourselves a lone range tanker out in the middle of the Atlantic. Well, not quite the middle, but you know what I mean. She's cruising out all by herself, and little does she know, she's in for a pretty bad evening. So we just got to go through our little catalogue of ships here, and it doesn't look like a T2. We're just going to keep on scrolling here, and there's tankers are more towards the end of that. So is it one of these? Kind of looks like it might be one of those. Could be. Dale class, War class. I don't know. I've got over like 150 hours in this game, and I still can't recognize every ship just straight off the bat. We'll have to spend quite a lot of time looking through the catalogue here. I think I'm just gonna, yeah, that looks about right. Old class, so we'll recognize that, and I think we'll line it up. Just take the speed of the Lone Ranger here in the back of the boat and stop the clock. There we go. So we've got the speed, we've got the angle there, which is 88 degrees. Perfect. Don't have to do the maths in reverse because she's traveling towards the east. Makes it nice and simple. Now we just need the distance, so we'll line that up to the water line, set the clock. Okay, she's not quite within range for a torpedo just yet. Okay, patiently waited, and now we'll just double check our distance, and there you go, she's within the range of a torpedo. 2 torpedoes should be more than plenty to deal with this. That's tube 2, tube 3, flood tube 2, tube 3, and fire. That's one good hit with a torpedo. Somehow we missed with the second one, even though it had the same settings into the computer. I don't know how we hit one and not another, or I might just be delaying what I could be inevitable torpedo hit, but this is a very long time to wait for the second impact, so I don't quite understand how we can hit with one, not the other. But yeah, we've done critical damage with one, which is fantastic. Kind of looks like one's enough anyway, but it just means that that's one torpedo wasted. Not too happy with that, seeing as we've already used quite a few of our torpedoes on that previous convoy. I probably could have actually used a deck gun just to sink this ship here, but something quick, something easy, we'll just use a torpedo. But she's got critical damage for sure. Massive fires that are blazing on board. I think she's going to go down. There we go. Second. Not a torpedo, but that's an explosion on board. Must be an oil tanker. Huge damage. Yep, she's going down for sure. I think we'll just leave her be now and let her sink beneath the waves. I'm actually trying really hard just to get to the bloody patrol zone, but here we go, another lone ship. But we have to intercept and see what we're dealing with, and maybe just use our deck gun on this one. Yeah, here we go, perfect. Got ourselves a Empire something or other. Still don't know the difference, but we can close in on this one and just surface the boat here for a deck gun attack. And we're coming in a bit hot there, so I'm just going to slow down the boat. Now we've all seen this 1,000 times, using a deck gun to sink a boat like this. It does take a few shots, so I'll probably just speed this up when it comes to the editing. Alright, looks like we dealt with that one. Didn't use up too much of our ammunition either, which is good. We probably didn't have too much left. Probably got more deck gun ammo than we did on the torpedo situation though. So hopefully now we can start getting on towards our patrol sector. Finally get some kilometers clocked up, and maybe we might have to look at resupplying the boat along the way. So we're still 2,000 k's away from the patrol zone, so we use our radio operator here to send out a resupply. And there we go, we've got one here at CD1 on the map. So we'll just back out and have a little look on the map and see where CD1 is. CD1. Oh, there you are. Down right next to the patrol zone anyway, that's perfect. Here we go. Now that we're in sector CD1, we can send away the second request for the resupply, which will give us a bit more of an accurate coordinate where to meet our friendly ship. So they're going to be here for 1 day. So we'll just send our guys off to rest who need to. And there we go. So yeah, they're about 180 k's away. We've got an incoming message here from BDU. Got some important technology on this Empire boat, and they've given us the coordinates for that. So let's have a quick look at that. That's inside our patrol sector, but by the time I reach the resupply where we're going to be for a couple of days and make it there, I don't know if I'm going to make that a top priority right now. Here we are, our friendly U-boat here, so we'll surface the boat and send a little team across just to see what supplies they've got for us. Really, we're only looking for fuel and maybe some torpedoes, and we can only send the 2 officers with a few sailors, so we'll check out their cargo hold. Now we're looking pretty good on the front of everything else. We've got plenty of food. I don't know if I'm going to top that up just yet, but we'll start with some fuel for sure and see the torpedoes. Okay, they're not carrying very many. I am wondering if I sit next to them and we restock our supply, will they like regenerate some more torpedoes? Not too sure how that works, or if it does work at all. We'll grab some more deck gun ammo for the storage room, and I think the only really other option we have is just to take a bit more food. We'll just chuck that bread in there. Everything else, I think we're looking pretty good, but we'll return to the ship, pass by this time, and then I think I'll recheck just to see if they do have any extra torpedoes on board that I might be able to snatch up. Otherwise we're not really going to be able to make too many more torpedo attacks. They've only given us 4 or 5 torpedoes. So there we go, that's perfect. That's a little, what is that, a little bug? I'm not too sure. Either way, can't complain. I'll take the extra torpedoes. Thank you very much. So we're inside the patrol zone now, so we'll get diving down to periscope depth. We'll get the hydrophone on. As you can see, that convoy that they wanted us. Oh, they've got a contact. The convoy they wanted us to intercept is long gone. We just spent 3 or 4 days next to a fellow sub, so I don't think we're going to catch that. Okay, plotted the interception course. We got our contact. It looks like a little NA1. So I think our best option here, we'll save the torpedoes, but we'll just surface up and we'll use the deck gun again. And maybe I'll speed that up. There we go, made light work of that. She went down a little bit quicker and easier than I thought she would. She didn't take too many shots with the deck gun there. Didn't get much of a chance to catch the good camera angle for the sinking, but never mind. Back to the campaign map. So while we were tracking that NA1, we did have another ship that was just a little further south. So we still haven't really done much inside the patrol zone, but we're going to chase down and see if we can intercept this other ship that we picked up before. Okay, so that contact is 9 to 21 ships. So I think we'll sit here, wait patiently, and we'll see if we can pick a few of them off. Okay, we've got our first contact. It's a little bit further. I've come a little bit too far forward than I would have liked. I think I might have to maybe try and move to the other side of the convoy, but we've got a C3 here. Let's see what else we're dealing with as it comes. So we've managed to get ourselves around the back of the convoy, and we've got ourselves a lead escort here. Something like a little flower class or whatever it is. So I think we'll go ahead, line ourselves up for a torpedo attack on him, try and take him away from the convoy, and we'll move in and see if we can find something else to sink. So we'll start the stopwatch here and stop clock here. So now we've got the speed and the angle of direction, or direction of travel. We just need the distance now. It's pretty far away, but it's within range of the torpedo, so flood tube 1, and I think send this off, and then we'll duck and dive and try and pop up and attack something else from the other side again. There we go, a nice clean hit, a little bit further back of the boat than I was expecting, but one's more than enough. Straight down to the bottom with her. We'll try and poke our nose up somewhere else and see what we're dealing with. So the convoy is back in a calm state after that attack, and we've picked ourselves up a destroyer here, which is also leading the convoy. It's definitely something we were going to get rid of, so I think we'll go with EF class there. Not too sure if that's exactly what it is, but that's what we'll go with. We need the distance, of course. Okay, so set our distance, and we need the speed of this vessel as well. So we'll get up our stopwatch and wait for the front of the boat to pass through that crosshair, and we'll start the clock there. Stop the clock at the back of the boat. I think we got the right reading there. It's quite hard to tell with those waves, but this is what we're looking at. So we're just dummy checking, see our angle, our direction of travel. It's a fairly big convoy that we're dealing with here, but I've got to take out the lead ships and the destroyers if we want to close in and try doing an attack on these freighters. We could attack the freighters and just try and run away from these kind of boats, but it's too much of a risk. So that's tubes 1, tube 2, and we are sending those away. Tube 2 flooded, and fire. Okay, good. One nice hit at the front of the ship there. And the second one should have already hit, so don't understand how we hit with one and not the other. I don't think that's going to be enough to put her down by herself. Yeah, her health is still fairly decent, but does look like she's stopped in the water. Not too sure if we're going to get time to suss out another plan to sink her with a torpedo. Okay, we're back up with the convoy. We've just left that enemy warship dead in the water before, but it's not going to be giving us any trouble here. But we've got an enemy tanker up ahead, Looks pretty good to me for a torpedo attack, so let's start trying to recognize that. It could be a T2, not too sure. Let's have a look at our other options. I really need to study this little book a little bit more. It could be an oil class. Looks pretty decent for me. I think we'll roll with that. So let's start with a speed, front of the boat through the crosshair. And the back of the boat through the crosshair, stop and set the clock. So we've got good speed there. There's our enemy freighter, that's enemy warship, sorry, that's still hanging around in the ocean somewhere. Let's just type in our angle of bow for this tanker, and all we need now is our distance. It's a little bit choppy, going to be a difficult read. But one torpedo more than enough for a tanker. It's provided that we get the secondary explosions, but that's tube 1 and fire. Nice hit with a torpedo, and we got that secondary explosion, so that should be enough. Hopefully she's going to go down quite quickly, and it's even more fireworks on board. I love it when that happens. Okay, looks like that one torpedo was more than enough to send her down. Just gotta wait for her to sink now, and we'll get back involved with the convoy as soon as they chill out. Okay, we're back with the convoy. I've got another escort here. Looks like not believing she's doing 8 knots, so I'm just going to double check the speed here. Stop the clock there. There you go, 8 to 7 knots. That's what I thought. One torpedo in the tube for her. I'm going to aim that slightly closer to the front of the boat, and tube 2 can go. Beautiful strike with the torpedo. Hopefully it's going to be enough. She's not dropping as quickly as they normally do, but she does look like she's got a lot of damage on. Let's hope that that's going to be enough. She's definitely getting lower in the water, but oh, there we go. Now she's sinking like a stone now. Oh well, we got most of the escorts to the convoy out of the way. They've all calmed themselves down again, but we'll start picking them back up and getting some solutions worked out. There's plenty of pickings here for us. Got ourselves a nice Empire Explorer, maybe? I'm not too sure, but we'll start working on the solution. So we've got the distance, now we just need the speed. Just double check that they haven't been going too fast. She looks like she's just on a cruise right now. And stop the clock there. Yep, so she's just cruising there at 7 knots. We'll use tube number 5 because we never really use tube number 5, and if it's available, might as well get them out of the way. Okay, not looking good here. Looks like we've missed somehow. Maybe tube number 5 is a bad omen for us. So we've managed to move in nice and close here, right up to 2 ships very close. 1 tanker and 1 Empire. And we've got the captain here getting on the guns. Didn't mean to fire that. But, excuse me. Better slow ourselves down because we're right next to this guy, and this is going to be primary target because we're next to it, and then we'll catch back up with that tanker. This is actually the one that I missed with the torpedo just before, so a little bit of a revenge. Okay, not too many shots needed. Looks like we've got lifeboats in the water. Silver Star Park. Looks like the bow is diving down towards the ocean floor there. Hopefully she's going to take on a fair bit more water, and we're just sailing by in the background here, just nice and slow just to make sure. Might have to put a few more rounds into the back end of her just to make sure, but hard to tell if she's just bobbing up and down or if the front end is going to pull her down all by herself. Just sit tight and before we go and attack that tanker. Well, one or two more shots into her and we've managed to get the fire on board. Hopefully it's going to be enough just to convince it to go down now all by itself. If I was in that life raft, I'd probably want to try and get away from that. But no, she's done for. So we can focus our attention now to the oil tanker that's right in front of us. We'll speed up the boat. A little bit too far away really to be using the deck gun. So actually not as far as I thought. So we'll close the distance either way. Just got to be careful with our shooting. It's a little bit choppy and we're moving at speed. A few shots, hopefully she'll go down very soon. There we go, life rafts are in the water. It's not actually the tanker that I thought she was. She's just a slightly bigger boat than what we were aiming at previously. Nonetheless, counts more towards the tonnage and she's on her way down. Just a little bit of a situation here from that last boat that we took down. We've got an enemy escort of something or other heading our direction. So we've dived down to around about 60 meters. Now we'll get our guy here to throw out a decoy and hopefully we can evade this incoming ship. Well, crisis averted for the meantime at least. We're back up to periscope depth. We have eyes on the tanker that we were trying to gun down before with the deck gun, but we're going to work on a torpedo solution for it this time. Okay, we've got the angular bow. Now we need to get up there and get that speed. So front of the boat through the stopwatch, start the clock, and the back of the boat through the stopwatch, and stop and set. Okay, she's doing 7 knots. That's perfect. Perfect for a torpedo. Now we need to get our distance to the target. Computer's already done a little bit for us, but that's not an accurate reading. 1 torpedo should be enough for a tanker like this. I've seen it before. Hopefully she'll explode herself to pieces. So tube 1 fire. I do love the explosions on the tanker, especially the aftermath, but a huge fire on deck here. No, I'm just going to say no secondary explosion, but there she is. Nice big explosion in the front part and one at the rear. She's definitely going down without a fuss. No need to stay around with the deck gun. Life crafts are in the water. She's definitely going down. She's still ablaze even though she's under the water. It's probably the oil that's still burning. It's quite satisfying to watch an oil tanker go down, but that's some serious tonnage towards our tally. We're back into the patrol sector finally. After dealing with that convoy, we did deal a fair bit of damage, used up a fair few torpedoes as well. So now it's just all about clocking up those kilometers and hopefully we don't come across too much. Well, I was trying not to come across enemy shipping, but here we are with 1 to 3 ships. I think that's something that we can deal with. We can always avoid it if necessary, but if it's just a lone ship, then we can deal with it as well. Okay, here we are. We've got in nice and close, and looks like we've got ourselves a Liberty cargo. Done the maths already to find out where they're heading. Let's work on the rest of the solution for her. We'll get the distance here and we'll get that stopwatch out, and front of the boat through the clock or the crosshair, start that clock, and the back of the boat through the crosshair and set that time. Okay, that I'm not too sure if that's a accurate reading. She seems to be traveling a little bit fast for a convoy, so we'll start the clock again and we'll stop the clock again. Okay, that was an accurate reading. I wasn't too sure about that, didn't want to miss. Okay, we need to warm up some torpedoes ASAP. And we're back with 2 warmed up torpedoes. We only have 2 left in the chamber as well after. Already got the guys warming those up, so we'll get those into use. But tube 1's flooded, tube 2 flooded, and fire. Beautiful strikes on the T2 there, and she's got a blazing fire on board, masts falling off left, right. That's a perfect attack. Hopefully it's going to be more than enough to just send it down. So we'll just hang tight, watch her sink, hopefully, and if not, we'll have to jump up and use our deck gun. But we're going to use the deck gun anyway to probably finish off what she's rolling around with, because this is the only boat in that convoy that had any guns on board. It's the only threat for us, but we'll pop up and start taking down the rest of the ships as soon as she goes down. So here's the other ship that was rolling with the tanker. We're up on the surface, deck gun out, and we're just going to slowly pump a few rounds into the side, front and back of this boat. No need for us to waste any more torpedoes. We've only got 2 left and we've still got a long way to get home. Keep those just in case we come across something that might stop us in our tracks, but we'll just work our way at this one here and let her go down. Well, she took a fair few rounds there, but she's managed to just slip beneath the waves, and I think she's going to have enough water on board to pull her down, I hope at least. Don't really want to have to turn around and use any more ammo. She took up quite a fair bit there, so we've got to be on our way. So we've closed in on another small group of ships here. Looking at this one here, this is the biggest target of the lot. Don't really feel the need to be taking small prizes right now. We've already dealt quite a lot of damage on our patrol here. Now unfortunately I do suck at recognizing what's an old class or a Dale class or an old, well, whatever other type of oil cargo ship there might be. T2s and the likes. Yeah, not convinced it could be one of these actually. It's so hard to tell the difference between the mast and like what that metal structure at the front they've got there. I'm not sure what that is. So I've got to flick through the catalogue here. I don't think it's one of those. Never know. I mean, does it really make that much of a difference? I could spend 5 minutes looking at that and not know. We'll get the distance anyway. And if we miss with a torpedo, I mean, so what? We've dealt heaps of damage and we'll just get going. We can always head straight back to port. Yeah, we've got the stopwatch, front of the boat through the crosshair, start the clock. And the back of the boat through the crosshair, stop and set. 7 knots is perfect. Tubes 1, tube 2. I think 2 is going to be more than enough for that. Hopefully they both hit. But, tube 1, tube 2, flooded, and fire. Or 2 strikes there. Not sure that second torpedo was absolutely necessary, but she's dropping like a stone now to the bottom. That's another job well done. It's a bit more towards our tonnage of the trip. I don't often find myself in a situation like this. I'm actually actively trying to avoid 2 large convoys. Normally I would just close in and try and take care of one of them, or a few ships from one of them, but we've already expelled all of our ammo and we just need to stay away from everything that comes our way now. Okay, we're trying to stay away, but got 2 inviting opportunities here of lone ships just up here on their own, so we're going to close in and we're going to use our deck gun possibly to see what we're dealing with. Just an NA1, yeah, we'll sink that with our deck gun here. That's another boat down to the bottom, thank you. Okay, so there's still ships out here that are just traveling alone by themselves, so it's just too inviting. Can't just skip by them and not do anything about this. Okay, this boat here is Swedish, so I'm actually going to avoid it. I could board it and investigate, but it's not worth it. So after causing huge amounts of devastation on the eastern seaboard of the US and Canada, Captain Murray of U606 has turned away, heading back towards the east, back towards Europe, and thanks to the new option with the latest update for Uboat, we don't actually have to do that travel all by ourselves now. We can just click a button and we can return to the port quite rapidly instead of it taking 20 minutes to do it by fast travel. So here we are back at port. Murray gains a fair bit of XP, still not enough to get us up to the next level though. And here's all the ships that we've sunk on our journey. Tell you what, it's actually been probably the biggest haul yet, I would say. I mean, in terms of registered tonnage or individual ships, I couldn't quite tell you which is more, given which patrol, but I mean, there's a whole lot of ships. Didn't actually manage to catch up to that convoy in the end, but I mean, did we really need to? Well, thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Hope you all had a good Christmas. It's coming up to New Year. It's, as we are in game as well, as also just coming past Christmas and New Year. Hopefully we'll be back on the water for New Year. But thanks to everybody who's been watching and subscribing over the last few months. Hopefully 2022 is going to be a good year for us all. And I'll see you shortly after New Year, I would expect, as I'm taking a nice holiday. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.